Yo, somebody just got caught running what might be the most diabolical behind-the-scenes operation hip-hop has ever seen. We talking anonymous websites, bot networks, copyright strikes, and lawsuits stacked back-to-back like dominoes, all pointing at one throne. And the wildest part? The people being accused of using bots are getting attacked by bots. You can't make this up, bruh. The whole machine is moving in silence, and the receipts are sitting in plain sight. And the man at the top of it all really thought nobody would ever connect the dots? He picked the wrong generation of fans to play chess with. Before we get into it, like, subscribe. Don't miss it, nah. Here's the skeleton real quick. Aubrey Drake Graham, the sixth god himself, got named in a class action lawsuit out of Virginia on April 24, 2026, filed by a small firm called Impresa Legal Group, alleging he used Stake's crypto tipping feature to secretly fund bot farms, inflating his streams. 2 days earlier, April 22nd to 23rd, music executive Larry Jackson and his company Gamma got smeared by two anonymous AI-generated websites, LarryJacksonExposed.com and GammaExposed.com, pushing the exact same accusations. And days before that, DJ Akademiks says Roc Nation hit him with around 10 copyright strikes after he criticized Jay-Z's GQ interview. Whoever's coordinating this really thought a press release and some fake websites would bury the biggest artist on the planet. Now let's look at the receipts. Let's open the vault. Quote bank only. I'ma let these people hang themselves with their own words. Akademiks went on his platform after the copyright strikes started flying, and he did not hold back. He said, and I quote, Roc Nation currently are using illegal means, for example filing DMCA claims. They're abusing it on YouTube, claiming that if you have an opinion about Jay-Z on any content that he's in, instead of acknowledging what it actually is, which is fair use, they're now filing claims if you're not writing his. Yeah, y'all know how that sentence ends. When I heard that, I was like, wait, a billion-dollar company is filing takedowns over opinions? That's not brand protection, that's censorship with a law degree. And Roc Nation really thought creators were just gonna eat those strikes and stay quiet? Bro, you struck the loudest man in hip-hop media. That's like robbing a police station. This one's from way back, December 2024. YouTuber Trent Out Loud said two separate sources told him the same thing, and listen to this carefully. Two people told me that Roc Nation and Jay-Z have a whole team scouring the internet and making sure that content creators are not stepping out of line, and they will send cease and desist letters or legal letters with the quickness. A whole team. Now, when I first heard that, I thought it was cap. But then it kept happening, over and over. And every time it happened, the target had one thing in common: they said something sideways about HOV. Another creator, BJ Investigates, described what happened after publishing a video. The video promptly gets removed from YouTube because somebody purporting to be from the law firm called Reed Smith issued a copyright takedown request on the video. A copyright strike was on my channel. I had to appeal it. The appeal worked because obviously it was fair use. Write that law firm's name down. Reed Smith. It's gonna show up again. And again. And again. Like a horror movie villain that refuses to die. And this is the one that made my jaw hit the floor. Akademiks on stream revealed that Larry Jackson personally reached out to him. Quote, this person called me and this person said, I had to reach out to you to tell you you're not crazy. Dude, I'm going through the same thing, but I'm dealing with it legally. He said, I called you just to let you know if you ever need legal help, if you ever need whatever, I'm here to back you up. Then Larry pointed at the AI smear sites about himself and basically said, look familiar? Two men, same playbook, same timeline. When I heard this, I literally sat back in my chair. Because if Larry Jackson, a guy who helped build the streaming era, is calling Akademiks to compare battle scars, this isn't paranoia anymore. This is a pattern with a pulse. And this is the smoking gun from the courtroom. During Akademiks' deposition in the Milagro-Grams case, a case about Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, mind you, the lawyers started asking questions like, are you blindly loyal to Drake? Did you ever leak exclusive information from someone on Drake's camp? Has he ever sent you any sort of cryptocurrency or digital assets for any reason? And my personal favorite, what is stake? Hold up. What does stake have to do with Megan and Tory? Drake has nothing to do with that case. Bro said what is stake in a defamation deposition about a shooting trial. That's not legal strategy. That's a fishing expedition wearing a suit. Whoever wrote those questions already knew exactly what they were looking for. Now that we got the quotes, let's connect the dots. Okay, so now we leave the quotes alone and look at the board. Because the timeline here is tighter than a drum, and nobody in mainstream media is laying it out like this. April 17, 2026. Drake's lawyers file their final brief in his appeal against UMG, pushing the Not Like Us defamation case forward. 4 days later, April 21st, the Iceman release date gets revealed, and the entire internet becomes Drake country. Everyone was talking about him. Momentum at an all-time high. 2 days after that, April 23rd, Larry Jackson and Gamma get hit by those anonymous websites. 1 day after that, April 24th, the new Drake and Stake lawsuit drops. But not through a journalist, nah. Through a paid press release on PR Newswire, blasted out by the lawyers themselves. Read that back. A filing. A reveal. An attack. A lawsuit. 7 days, 4 events, 1 target's orbit. Y'all didn't notice this though, that's not a news cycle, that's a schedule. Somebody had a calendar open, and they circled Drake's album rollout in red ink. Whoever planned this really thought dropping everything at once would overwhelm the narrative. That's not strategy, that's panic with a budget. Now let's talk about that deposition again. The deposition happened in August 2025. Remember that? The questions about Stake, Crypto, Drake, and a guy named George aka Grand Wizard. Here's the thing nobody caught. The first lawsuit accusing Drake of sending crypto through Stake to George for bot payments wasn't filed until December 2025. Months later. So how were lawyers asking under oath questions about a legal theory that didn't publicly exist yet? That's like asking someone where they buried the treasure before the map was even drawn. Any smart legal team would have waited for the lawsuit to exist before asking about it. But whoever's running this isn't patient, they're eager. And it gets deeper. Remember who was asking those questions? Quinn Emanuel, Megan Thee Stallion's lawyers. And during that deposition, the legal team accidentally shared their own screen, exposing an internal chat with one name sitting in it. Desiree Perez, the CEO of Roc Nation, in a Megan Thee Stallion case, about a blogger, where the questions were about Drake and Stake. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying the screen said everything. Now, the plaintiffs in the Virginia suit. 2 women at the front, Tiffany Hines and Lashana Ridley, both with cocaine felonies, both trapped in Virginia's probation violation cycle for years. Then 6 more plaintiffs got added, and here's where my eyebrows left my forehead. Regina Ridley, Lashana's blood relative who shared her address. Pretty Ray, who lives at the same address as Lashana and got early release from probation within 2 days of her. Stephanie Hines, Tiffany's relative. Takia Adams, Ricola Lachey, more folks cycling through the same courts, the same metro area, the same probation system. 8 plaintiffs, half of them sharing last names or households, all from one tiny corner of Virginia. A class action is supposed to be scattered strangers who all got hurt by the same thing. This is a family reunion with a case number. Somebody assembled this group. Classes don't look like neighborhoods, unless somebody went into the neighborhood. And circling back to the firm itself, Impresa Legal Group. Small boutique shop out of Virginia. But look at the resumes. George Costello, the owner, former partner at Reed Smith. Jason Matchek, co-owner, former partner at Reed Smith. Richard Kelsey, attorney on the filing, Reed Smith alum. It's on his own Facebook. There's that name again. Reed Smith. The same firm allegedly sending copyright takedowns to YouTubers. The same firm that represents Desiree Perez personally right now in 2026 in an active case. And the same firm that represents Roc Nation as a company. So Roc Nation really thought nobody would check the lawyers' LinkedIn pages? That's the move of people who think the internet can't read. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Now we go full detective mode because there are layers here that nobody is talking about. The PR Newswire forensic. This is the one that broke my brain. Impresa Legal Group in its entire existence has used PR Newswire exactly twice. Both times to announce lawsuits against Drake. Virginia and New Jersey. Now guess who lives on PR Newswire? Roc Nation and Reform Alliance. They push basically everything through it, including, get this, their October 2024 Virginia job fair. So a tiny firm that never touched a wire service suddenly uses the exact platform Roc Nation pays for, like a Netflix subscription, to announce a hit on Drake during his album rollout. Nobody's talking about that. That's not a coincidence fingerprint, that's a handprint. The probation forensic. Zoom in on one detail: dates. Reform Alliance, co-founded by Jay-Z and Michael Rubin, with Desiree Perez on the board, pushed Virginia's probation reform law, which took effect July 1, 2021. 5 months later, December 2021, Lashana Ridley got early release. 2 days after her, Pretty Ray. The people suing Drake were freed by the very law Jay-Z's organization wrote. I gotta say it slow so it sinks in. The plaintiffs owe their freedom to a system the accused mastermind's organization built. Is that leverage? Is that gratitude? Is that nothing? I don't know, man, but I've watched a lot of crime documentaries, and this is always the part where the detective puts a red string on the board. And the opposition really thought nobody would run the dates? Embarrassing. The job fair forensic. October 18, 2024, Reform Alliance and Rock Nation hold a massive public job fair in Virginia for formerly incarcerated people, help with jobs, help with record cleanup. And who did Rock Nation bring in to handle the legal services? Reed Smith. On hand for expungement help, Reform Alliance said it on their own website. So picture it. Reed Smith lawyers physically in a room in Virginia sitting across from people on probation, people with records, people desperate to clear their names. And then later, a lawsuit materializes built entirely out of Virginia plaintiffs with probation histories, filed by Reed Smith's offspring firm. Look, I'm not saying anyone was recruited at a job fair. I'm saying the pipeline from that room to this lawsuit is shorter than people think. If HOV's camp had half a brain, they'd have used a law firm with no Rock Nation DNA. But they didn't, because they never expected anyone to look. The question forensic. Go back to that deposition and zoom into the phrasing. Has he ever sent you any sort of cryptocurrency or digital assets? Not money. Not payments. Cryptocurrency. Digital assets. That's not a question you improvise. That's a question you write when you already have the theory. The Virginia lawsuit's core claim is crypto tipping through stake to fund bots. The deposition language and the lawsuit language are wearing the same outfit. One was August, one was December. The tailor is the same. And we're supposed to believe these are unrelated? Man, please. The commercial forensic. And this one is cold. The Sports Betting Alliance, the organization Fanatics, Jay-Z's company, belongs to, put out an entire commercial called The Dangers of Unregulated Betting. And who did they feature in it? Drake. They literally put his face in an attack ad. That's not advocacy, that's targeting. You don't accidentally include the biggest artist on earth in your commercial. That was a shot fired in broad daylight, and everyone missed it because it looked like a PSA. The opposition is so used to moving in silence they got sloppy moving in the open. Now let's see how the media covered this. And so how did the outlets handle all this? Because the framing differences tell their own story. Rolling Stone covered the Larry Jackson lawsuit, but framed it through the Kanye angle, focusing on Gamma's defamation fight to unmask the anonymous website owners. The framing was music executive fights back against smear campaign. Fair enough, but notice what they didn't frame, the timing. Remember those 4 dates we lined up? The article treats the smear sites as an isolated internet weirdness, not as one domino in a 7-day sequence. When you zoom out from any single outlet's framing, the pattern disappears. That's exactly how patterns stay hidden, one article at a time. Music Business Worldwide took a similar lane with the scammer websites. Again, solid reporting on the lawsuit itself, Gamma filing in New York State Supreme Court, the whole thing. But the framing is corporate. Executive, defamation, unmask. Nobody in that framing asks who benefits. They report the fire without asking who smells like smoke. Now flip to the gambling press and legal analysis side. The Harvard Journal of Sports and Entertainment Law actually dug into the class actions implications, the RICO angle, the tipping mechanism, Aiden Ross, the whole ecosystem. Their framing is academic. What does this mean for sweepstakes law? And look, that's legitimate. But again, framing. When you cover it as a gambling story, you never ask why a gambling lawsuit cares about Spotify numbers. Because proving Drake streams are fake doesn't return $1 to any gambler. It's legally useless to the plaintiffs, but priceless to whoever wants Drake's reputation torched. See how the framing does the hiding? And then there's the counter-narrative, because some people are saying this whole thing is just Drake stans coping. Drake lost the beef, so now everything is a conspiracy. These lawsuits are organic, gamblers are mad, that's it. Y'all heard it too. Here's why that doesn't hold up. Organic lawsuits don't get announced through a paid wire service the firm has never used before. Organic gambling cases don't contain theories about music executives getting their feelings hurt. And organic plaintiffs don't share addresses and last names. The It's All Organic crowd is asking you to ignore your own eyes. Nah. Some folks are reaching trying to defend this, and it's always the same people who swore the beef was just about music, while a whole machine allegedly grinded in the background. If you still think this is all coincidence after the deposition timeline, the Reed Smith bloodline, and the PR Newswire fingerprint, you're not skeptical, you're biased. The receipts don't lie, but people protecting their favorites sure do. But here's what nobody is saying. Here's what nobody is talking about. The mainstream narrative says this is a gambling story. Lawsuits about stake. A crypto casino loophole. Regulatory drama. And on the surface, sure. But that's the costume. Here's the real story. This was never about gambling. This is about who gets to own the future of music. And the old guard is watching its power evaporate in real time. Let me build this out. Only 6% of new and upcoming artists now say they want to sign to a major label. 6%. When Larry Jackson heard that stat, even he said, "This is a shift." The entire architecture that built the Roc Nation empire, labels, gatekeepers, distribution choke points, media relationships, is melting. Artists don't need the gate anymore. And who is the loudest symbol of that exit? Drake. The man sued his own label, called himself a corporate hit survivor on wax, dropped 3 projects in one night on May 15th, and if industry insiders are right, effectively made himself a free agent, the most powerful artist outside the system in music history. He's not leaving the table. He's building a new table, and Larry Jackson's Gamma is the furniture. A company literally founded on the idea that artists should own more, control more, and answer to the machine less. Now ask the question the media won't. Who spent 30 years building power inside the old system? Who's embedded in the labels, the streaming deals, the NFL partnerships, the casino bids? Sean Jay-Z Carter. HOV. The man isn't a rapper anymore. He's infrastructure. And infrastructure doesn't compete with you, bruh. Infrastructure destroys you. Look at the board. Drake, outside the system. Akademiks built his own media empire where nobody can call his boss because he is the boss. Larry Jackson. Handing power back to artists wholesale. Every target of this alleged campaign shares one trait. They cannot be controlled. And the one thing a control-based empire cannot tolerate is people it cannot control. Remember those copyright strikes from earlier? Here's the real reason they're happening. It's not about a GQ interview, it's about information gatekeeping. For decades, if you wanted access, you played nice with the throne. The throne decided who got interviews, who got invited, whose story got told. Akademiks torched that model. He tells millions of people his raw opinion daily. No permission slip required. So when you can't buy a voice and you can't threaten a voice, what's left? You allegedly tried to deplatform the voice. 10 strikes across affiliated channels isn't copyright enforcement. That's a message. And the message is, we can still touch you. HOV really thought DMCA claims would work on a guy whose entire brand is saying the unsayable. That's fighting the last war, bruh. And here's the forbidden layer on the gambling angle. This is industry warfare disguised as consumer protection. Fanatics, Jay-Z's company, board seat vice chairman, has spent 4 years grinding for state licenses, legal in 23 states for sports betting, only 4 for online casinos. The real prize is the other 46. Meanwhile, Stake skips all of it. Offshore crypto casino, sweepstakes loophole, no licenses needed, and Drake's deal is reportedly worth $100 million a year to gamble on stream. So the regulated industry formed the Sports Betting Alliance with 2 goals, written on their own website. Legalize online casinos everywhere, and destroy unregulated platforms like Stake. Now connect it. Every lawsuit that damages Stake damages Drake's back. Every headline tying Drake to bots damages his leverage as a free agent. If Drake is dirty, Gamma is dirty by association, and suddenly the artists don't need the system movement has a scandal attached to its biggest champions. That's not litigation strategy, that's scorched earth. The throne isn't protecting gamblers. It's protecting the gate. And the wildest psychological layer? The projection. The accusations say Drake's camp uses bots, fake accounts, and manufactured narratives. But who allegedly got hit by an actual bot network? Hundreds of fake X accounts pushing AI-generated hit pieces through anonymous websites. Larry Jackson. Larry Scamson. Gamma Scamma. AI-written slop with cartoon nicknames, deployed like a DDoS attack on a reputation. The thing they're accusing everyone else of is the thing being done to them. You can't script irony that clean. Whoever greenlit a bot network to accuse other people of botting is either the boldest operator alive or the dumbest. And I'm leaning dumb because they left fingerprints everywhere. The wire service, the law firm lineage, the deposition screen share. Real power moves in silence. This moved in a press release. So let's name what this actually is. It's the old empire versus the exit. And the empire is losing. The casino bit died 4 votes to 2 in Times Square. Over 1,000 emails and calls from residents saying no. The culture said no. The artists are saying no. 6%, remember that number. And when an empire can't win in the open anymore, history tells us it goes to the shadows. Leaked emails, friendly lawyers, anonymous websites. ESPN documented a version of this playbook before, reportedly involving Reed Smith and Desiree Perez in the John Gruden email leak that ended a coach's career. I can't tell you who's behind the Drake lawsuits. Nobody can yet. But I can tell you the playbook has a fingerprint, and we've seen that fingerprint before. And that's the truth they won't tell you. So what happens next? Let's look forward because this story is nowhere near done, and I got 3 scenarios for how this plays out. Larry Jackson is already suing to identify whoever's behind those anonymous websites, and mark my words, when that discovery process starts pulling threads, It's gonna be must-see TV. Because here's the thing about hiring people to build fake websites and bot networks. Somebody paid for it. There's an invoice, an email, a wallet, a freelancer, something. And when that trail gets dragged into a courtroom, the whole organic backlash narrative is gonna collapse like a cheap fold-out chair. Watch what happens the moment one name gets unmasked. Every other domino we talked about is gonna get re-examined under that same light. And whoever's behind it is gonna realize that suing to find them was the trap all along. They built a smear machine, and the smear machine is gonna become the evidence. They're not ready for that. Now, if Drake's album rollout lands the way his rollouts land, here's what's gonna happen. The culture is gonna move. Streams, charts, conversation. Drake is gonna flood the zone with the one thing lawsuits can't touch, which is momentum. And then the opposition is gonna look real desperate, because imagine spending months allegedly engineering a narrative about fake streams, only for the man to drop and have the whole world streaming in broad daylight. You can't fake that. If the numbers come in nuclear, the bot narrative dies on contact with reality, and everybody who pushed it is gonna have egg on their face forever. They bet the house that they could poison the well before the album arrived. When that album arrives anyway and the people show up anyway, that bet's gonna look like the worst wager in music history. And coming from gambling people, man, that's poetry. Here's the long game nobody's pricing in. Akademiks already said 2026 is all offense. BJ investigates beat the takedown on appeal. Trent Out Loud is talking. Larry Jackson is offering legal backup to creators getting hit. You're watching the birth of something. A loose alliance of independent media and independent money, all realizing they got the same opponent. 5 years from now, I genuinely believe people are gonna look back at this stretch as the moment the old gatekeeping model died. Not because of one lawsuit or one album, but because the targets stopped being isolated. Once creators compare notes, the divide and conquer playbook is finished. And the legacy damage? Irreversible. The next generation of artists is watching this in real time, and they're learning one lesson. The old system, when threatened, doesn't compete. It allegedly litigates, smears, and strikes. That's not a king protecting his crown. That's a king watching the kingdom move on without him, and there's nothing he can do about it. Whatever happens, one thing's clear. The machine already lost the only battle that matters. The one for the narrative. Because we're talking about it. All of us. And you can't copyright strike a conversation the whole culture is having. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed uncovering the real story, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you never miss when we expose what everyone else is too scared to say. Ring that bell for notifications. And if you want more truth bombs like this, click on one of these videos next. Trust me, you'll want to see what we found. And by the way, when Larry Jackson's unmasking lawsuit moves, we're covering it day one. You do not want to miss that.